Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to the Upadesamrita series. In this series, we are going to cover the beautiful instructions, nectarian instructions, Upadesh Amrit, given by Srila Rupa Goswami for the aspiring sadhakas of Braj Bhav, especially the following in the footsteps of gopis. And we will be looking at four different commentaries on Upadeshamrit, namely by Sri Radha Goswami, whose commentary is referred by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by the way, and by the commentary of, we will see the commentary of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, and Srila Prabhupada. So we will be seeing the salient features or the essential points which are shared by all these acharyas, uh, giving the explanation to Sri Rupa Goswami's first verse uh, among the 11 verses that we are going to see today. The first verse of Upadeshamrit. The first verse goes like this: Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jivva vegam mudaropastha vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhiraha sarvamapi mam pratibhim sashishyat. So I'm going to share uh, these notes. So it says, Vacho vegam, the one who is aspiring to follow in the footsteps of Vrajvasis and perform devotional service, first thing that he needs to do is any bhakti sadhaka should do is control the urges of uh, vacha, the speech, mind, and the anger, and tongue, belly, and the sexual urge. So all these urges, if somebody is able to tolerate, then he can make disciples all over the world, like that it says, the verse says. So let's see what Sri Radharaman Goswami has to say about this. So he starts off with, firstly, Rupa Goswami is teaching the rules of regulating urges of speech, etc., which are detrimental to Krishna's Spurti. So one of the limbs among 64 limbs of devotional service is Shoka Marshadibir Bhaver Akrantam Yasya Manasam Katham Tattara Mukundasya Smriti Sambhavana Bhavet. It's a don't among the 10 don'ts of the 64 limbs of devotional service. There is one don't which says that we cannot allow our mind to be overwhelmed by the material emotions like lamentation or anger, etc. So, therefore, it is important for a devotee to keep his mind free from all this so that he can focus on Krishna. Uh, Second point he shares is he makes all the world his disciple, means he purifies the entire world by his bhakti. Means there may be some sadhakas who are controlling the urge and who advance in devotional service. So they go out and preach to make disciples all over the world. Or there could be like those who are sitting at one place doing their bhajan, like Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, but at the same time purifying the whole world. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is mentioned that when the devotees are dancing, they're raising their hands, and those that is purifying the heavenly planets. When they move around, that is purifying the earthly planet, and when they dance and stomping their foot on the ground, it is purifying the patal lokas or Netherian worlds. So, um, so he purifies the whole world. Sarvam apimam prithvyam shishyat. So he makes disciples all over the world, means he purifies the whole world. That is how uh, Sri Radharaman Goswami sees it. Third point he shares is tolerating urges is not directly the bhakti sadhana, but rather it is favorable to enter devotion. And devotion is self-manifested. So devotion is self-manifesting. So tolerating urges cannot be a separate limb of devotional service, but rather it is a requisite. Uh, so that is clarified by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now we move on to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So first thing he shares is these instructions are for householders. As for renunciants, it is understood that they have already conquered their six urges. So by renunciants, Bhaktivinoda Thakur takes it as Gruha Tyagi. So those who are Grihastha and Gruha Tyagi. So those who are Gruha Tyagi, they are supposed to have conquered these six urges already, and these instructions are for grihasthas. So all of them, whether grihastha or grihatyagi, both should conquer these senses, conquer these urges. Second point, these urges can be tolerated only by Krishna Namasharaya. So no separate endeavor required, or no separate endeavor is sufficient to control the urges other than taking shelter of Krishna Nam, taking shelter of holy name, and by this one can conquer all fear and make disciples all over the world. That is how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sees it. So control urges by taking shelter of Krishna Nam, and then conquer all fear. And because he has conquered all sorts of fear, he can preach all over the world and make disciples. So that is how he sees. Third point, Sharanagati is full of Krishna Bhakti. So before, Srila Jiva Goswami says that Sharanagati is equal to Shraddha. Getting Shraddha in devotional service manifests externally as Sharanagati. Sharanagati means six things: accepting what is favorable, rejecting what is not favorable, and then depending on Krishna in difficult situations, and depending on Krishna in normal situations. Then being very humble and surrendering everything to Krishna. So all of these become the aspect of Sharanagati. So one of the aspect is giving up unfavorable things. So giving up these mind's urges, tongue's urges becomes a limb of Sharanagati. It may not be a limb of Bhajan Kriya, but it is a limb of Sharanagati. So which comes even before Bhajan Kriya. So one who tolerates, fourth point by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one who tolerates six urges, taking shelter of Yukta Vairagya, becomes freed from Namaparad. So he correlates not being able to tolerate urges with committing aparats. So if one tolerates this, there won't be any nam aparad because mind is in under control, krodh is under control, like that. Fifth point, bhakti means anukulyena krishnanushilanam, and anyavilashita shunya means devotee must resolve for favorable and avoid the unfavorable. So Sharanagati, which is a symptom of Shraddha, which gives qualification for Bhakti, has two of its limbs, Anukulyasa Sankalpa, Pratikulyasa Varjana. So therefore it is mandatory for a devotee to try to control these urges. That is as simple as that. If he wants to perform pure Bhakti sadhana. Sixth thing he says, controlling urges in itself is not a direct limb of devotional service, as even jnanis and yogis also practice sense control, but they are not bhaktas. But a devotee must control the urges so that he can purely follow the direct bhakti of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam of Krishna's Nam, Rup, Gun, Leela. Seventh point, devotee should control urges by mood of surrendering to holy name, avoiding 10 namaprats, and by gaining strength of the mercy of holy name, and by association of pure devotees. So controlling urges is achieved by taking shelter of holy name, by avoiding namaprad, gaining mercy of holy name, and sadhu sangha. So these things we need to remember. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is kind enough to tell us how to control the senses. Then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he gives his illumination on this. First point, urge to speak anything other than Krishna is Vachovek, Vagvek. What is the desired, the urge for of the speech? That is urge to speak anything other than Krishna. Actually, we as a sadhaka don't require to speak anything other than Krishna. Also, desire for tasting, eating tasty food is jivave, and desire to eat extra more than required is udarvek. Giving into lust and becoming servant of a woman, like becoming a womanizer, is upasthavek. that is urge of lust. Controlling them, one becomes Goswami. So Goswami means this is the standard that if he is controlling them, desire to speak uh, topics other than Krishna, desire to taste tasty food, desire to take more than what is required, and the desire for uh, like giving into lust and becoming a servant of a woman. That is, and for a woman, it is applies the same in the opposite way, becoming subservient to lust, etc., and becoming licentious with men. So that becomes upastavik for them. So second point is Vagveg is not just external urge of speech for topics other than Krishna and Krishna Bhakti, but even the unexpressed urge for them, which is internal urge. Very interesting. Not just he is there is external urge of speaking topics other than Krishna and Krishna Bhakti, but there are some internal urges also. So even we should mind our internal dialogues. What's going on? Is it Krishna Katha or is it something else? Third point, having attachment toward Mayavadi's conceptions, respecting Karmavadi's theories, and believing opinions of Annabhilashis is also urge of mind. What is manasaha vegam? That is having attraction towards impersonal conceptions, having a soft corner for Karmavadi theories, that means hedonistic theories, that means be happy in this world, no need for spirituality, those kind of things. Or we can make this world happy through politics and through science and so many other things. So these are all Karmavadi theories. Uh, so one doesn't have attraction for them. That is minds controlling minds vague and believing opinions of Annabhilashis. Those who desire, even those who have other desires other than serving Krishna, believing in their opinions. Even somebody may be performing devotion, but he's saying, "Oh, we should perform devotion and we should enjoy life also." So we have to keep aloof from such statements. Being disturbed by unfulfilled desires of gratification or liberation is krodh. If I tried to enjoy something but I was not successful, then comes krodh. And that krodh manifests also sometimes in terms of desire for liberation. Oh, I don't want anything. So that is also krodh way. So desire for liberations can come through frustration, can come through anger. Such kind of desire is simply disastrous for devotional service. The objective of controlling Manas Veg is to remember Krishna's pastime. Why should we control this? So that we can hear Krishna's pastime, so that we can remember Krishna's pastimes. Fourth point by Srila Saraswati Thakur. Udar Veg usually follows Jiva Veg. If I am not cautious about Jiva Veg, automatically the Udar Veg, desire to eat more, comes when I have desire to eat tasty. Because tasty food, nobody takes little. So one jalebi, then two jalebis, and 10 jalebis. Like so, such person is most restless. Overeater becomes lusty. Saraswati Thakur says, one who is eating more automatically becomes lusty because it pushes, uh, it influences the lust or the lusty desires from where the mind's part where lusty desires are generated. That center is activated by overeating. Udaraveg is pacified by accepting only Krishna Prasad and following Ekadashi Vratas, etc., and by serving Krishna. Fifth point, one who is not controlling his urges can never become a servant of Hari. One cannot say, "Oh, I will uh, let my senses loose at the same time do bhajan." That's not possible. And Saraswati Thakur gives two references, evidences, we can say. Matirna Krishne Paratasvatova Mithopi Padyeta Gruha Vratanam. I'm sorry. Matirna Krishne Paratasvatova, yeah, Mithopi Padyeta Gruha Vratanam. Adanta Govir Vishatam Tamishram Punah Punah Sharvita Charanam. Those who are simply interested in chewing what is already chewed and thrown. Uh, so for them, their mind can never be focused on Krishna. And another is Nate Vidu Swartha Gatim He Vishnur Durashayaye Bahirartha Maninam. Those who consider the Bahirartha, Or again, these urges are bahirartha only. The uh, external or external desire for something external fulfillments. So mind will not be convinced of serving Krishna then. Then Srila Prabhupada he gives a long purport, but I have selected 4 points from that. First point, it is a seventh offense to holy name if one chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra. At the same time, commits many forbidden things, thinking that this chanting will counteract his office. So Prabhupada takes it as controlling urges is important because if you are letting senses loose at the same time chanting Hare Krishna, thinking that this chanting will nullify my nonsense, then it is seventh offense and it is a grave offense and I will suffer for that. And second point, to try to create a vacuum in the mind is artificial. Manasa vegam. So Visha heta dhira. Controlling mind's urges doesn't mean that making vacuum in the mind. That is not possible. That vacuum will not remain, Prabhupada writes. However, if one always thinks of Krishna and how to serve Krishna best, one's mind will naturally be controlled. So we can think what is the best way I can serve Krishna. First of all, think of Krishna, and then the best way to think of Krishna, serve Krishna, then mind will be occupied and controlled. Third point, similarly, anger can be controlled. We cannot stop anger altogether, but if we simply become angry with those who blaspheme the Lord or the devotees, we can control our anger in Krishna consciousness. This reminds me of Narottam Das Thakur's that famous Tripadi verse, which says that Kama Krishna Sevarpane, Krodha Bhakta Dveshidane, Lobha Sadhu Sange Hari Katha, Moha Ishta Labha Vine, Mada Mada Krishna Gudagane, Niyukta Karibo Yatha Tatha. Means I will engage these propensities, the lust into serving Krishna, anger into being angry towards those who blaspheme Krishna or devotees, and greed to hear more and more katha in association of devotees. Illusion because of not having Krishna yet in my life, and Unmatta, madness in singing about Krishna. So all these, if we apply in proper places, we can conquer them. Anyatha swatantra kam anarthati jara nam bhakti pate sada deya bhanga. Otherwise, lust is so independent, so powerful that it will definitely create anarthas and it will definitely create obstacles in our devotional service. Hmm. Uh, but one who has sadhu sangha, uh, what will Kama do to him? Like that he mentions. Finally, fourth point, do not think of women even in dreams. You have accepted the renounced order of life with a vow that forbids you to associate with women. Of course, this is an instruction to a renunciant, but even for grihasthas, similar type of instructions is applies that thinking of others' wives as one's mother or a sister, and like that. Matur Bhakti Parastrishu. One of the qualities of Prithu Maharaj is he used to consider others' women as his uh, mother. If you wish to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you must always remember the incident of Chota Haridas. Swapne piho na karo bhai stri sambhashan. This is coming from our Jagadananda Pandit's Prema Vivarta, I guess that book name is. So this is what we saw in 4 different commentaries to the same verse. Our acharyas are extremely compassionate to let us know what it takes to walk on the path of devotional service, and we pray at their lotus feet that they bestow their mercy upon us so that we are empowered. Shakti buddhi hina ami ati dina. Puro mohe atma sat. So this is our prayer. Krishna willing, we will come up with the next verse with all 4 commentaries of Upadesamrita. Hare Krishna.